In Mahabharata, Arjuna didn't want to wage a war against his cousins, the Kauravas. But Krishna reminded him that one needs to follow the path of dharma, which is duty. And even if it involves to go against your own family member, he took the responsibility and he went straight into the war. Last year, 2022, month was March, I decided to take a decision and I expected all the outcomes that I would have to face. The decision was to use a policy of the company where I was working. I was working with the British Bank, which is one of the biggest bank in Europe, has its headquarter in London. Now you would think, what was the policy that you decided to take? And that policy was the policy of whistleblowing. Before taking the decision, I was very much clear on two things. First, I may lose the battle because what I am raising the concern was about mis-selling of product from which the company was making money. So when someone is making money, why would they put that aside? And second was that I may lose my job, or if not my job, I may have to resign, because in a big corporate company, you are not outwardly said that you need to leave because you have raised a concern. They will appreciate you, they will applaud you for your courage that you have raised a concern, but indirectly situations will be made in a way that you will think to yourself, it is better that I resign. So unfortunately both the things happened with me. Now the question arises that Varun, when you knew in advance that you will lose this war, you will lose this fight with the giant, then why are you going into this fight? In my head the answer was very clear. I had a cause to protect, and for that cause the enemy is not a challenge. My cause was integrity, to do the right thing. See, I lost the battle. To be very honest, I lost the battle, but it developed a character in me. It infused a confidence in me that normal circumstances wouldn't have done. So how many of you here, if I have to ask, have watched the movie Panipat that had Arjun Kapoor in it? Okay, so few members. So the movie is not of relevance, but the story is based on real events. Ahmad Shah Abdali was the emperor of Afghanistan army. So he decided that he will invade India and he will invade the Maratha army. Ahmad Shah Abdali's army was huge, it was massive, and Marathas knew it. They knew that they don't stand a chance against his army. In this situation, one would say that I surrender. But what they did, knowing the fact that they will lose, they went for the war. They fought them. They fought the massive army. In today's modern era, now, for example, if you are in a corporate world, there is some wrongdoing and you have to raise a voice. It is very rarely that people would raise a voice because they know that there will be repercussions. And they have their reasons, which are totally justifiable. I have a loan, I have a family, I have a kid to feed. Why should I raise my voice? I'll follow the line that I have been taught by my parents, that I have to walk straight and do nothing, just to obey. I don't have any grudges against such people, but with time they have to ask themselves one thing, that whether they are living or they are existing. Now history has many examples of bravery, and all the bravery didn't resulted in victory, but it was bravery, hence it was established, or I would say mentioned in history. Or let me try to give you a recent example. Ukraine is in war with Russia for over a year. And now before going into a war with Russia, Ukraine had clear understanding that Russia is a giant and we cannot defeat it. But did they surrender? No, they didn't, because they had a cause. They had people behind them. The people who trusted their government that they won't give up. They will fight to the last breath. And they are doing that exactly. They know that they are against the giant, but they are still fighting. And now the problem is we have so many examples from history around us. But still, on day-to-day basis, when it comes to doing the right thing, most of the times we do that. But when situation turns critical, we back off. And what is the reason that we back off? The reason is people lack courage. And why do we lack courage? Because there are phobias, there are fear, there are repercussions that if we do it, probably the impact, the ripple effect will be very negative for us. But let me tell you one thing, and that is a fact, that even in history, if you look back in the history, people were not brave. There were moments when they did act of bravery. No individual can say that I am fearless, I don't fear anything. If he's saying that, particularly that person is a liar. He's not fearless. Yeah. So, but at the moment that mattered the most, those person rise to the occasion and were able to jump over the fear and do the act of courage. Now, my story is not a heroic story if you have to compare, but that is for you to compare. I don't have to compare. I'm very satisfied with what I have done. And I also believe in life that one should not compare their accomplishments, their desires in life with others. If you want to do something, then you need to get influence from other rather than comparing yourself. Even if you are giving a speech today, what my opinion is that you don't need to compare it with other competitors. You need to give your best. And if you are satisfied with your best, then that is a happy day for you, even if you have lost the contest. Now, if someone would ask me that in Mahabharata, who's your favorite character? Someone would say Arjuna, someone would say Bhishma or Bhim. I would say Eklavya. And now there's a reason. Eklavya improved his skill of archery because the purpose behind it was many deers in forest were being hunted by leopards. They were being killed. And that was his reason, his purpose, that he wanted to learn archery. And that purpose fueled him so much that he got better than Arjuna. But that was not his intention. His intention was never to compete with Pandavas. His intention was his purpose that needed to be fulfilled. But when Arjuna got to know that Eklavya is better than him, he expressed his agony with Dronacharya. And rest we know what happened with Eklavya, right? In the end, I would say a football coach from US summed it up very clearly when he said that life's purpose is sorted when someone lives a life that in a good cause. Probably he'll lose the battle, but he gives his best effort, and if he loses while daring greatly. Thank you.
Now we'll be observing